selfish plug, replace your mortgage. You know, they're looking at it of, okay, here's what home prices are. And young people are smart. I think we take them for granted. I no longer fit in that category of young, approaching a half a century old. First time home buyers in the U.S. was 40 years old, a record high, according to the National Association of Realtors. So that's up 2 years from 2024. It was 38, now it's 40. My goodness, I can't imagine that. But, you know, they're in this dilemma of, you know, you look out the window here, we're in Williamson County, Tennessee, one of the not only wealthiest parts of Tennessee, or is the wealthiest part of Tennessee, but also the most expensive. You know, I have to look at the stats, but, you know, 5 miles up the road is Brentwood, where the average home price is probably $1.3 million, right? Here in Franklin, it's probably close to $900,000. And even the outskirts, you know, I grew up in Fairview, Tennessee, which is a small rural farm town. That's probably approaching $700,000, right? So they're looking at it like, oh my goodness, here's what I make, because wages haven't kept up with inflation. It's not by a long shot has it kept up with what home prices are. So they're looking at their income versus what it now costs to get into a home. And they're doing the quick math and just like, this doesn't make sense. You know, to take a $700,000 home, finance it over 30 years and end up paying $1.4 million or more. It's like, when do I ever retire? Maybe you don't. But again, most people fail to realize that there's alternatives to financing real estate than a mortgage. It doesn't have to be a mortgage. Now, for a lot of folks, a mortgage is going to make sense. But for those folks that make more money than they spend, you know, budget-wise, we call it cash flow positivity. Look at the alternatives, like doing a home equity line of credit. Most folks don't realize you can purchase a home with a home equity line of credit as a first-time home buyer. You don't have to say, okay, I'm going to buy the home on a mortgage and then refinance it to a home equity line of credit. No, there are banks and credit unions out there that you like, hey, I want to start off first-time home buyer, not leveraging another property, and I want to close, but I don't want to close on a mortgage. I want to close on a simple interest line of credit. Because then what I'm going to do is funnel all my cash flow into that line of credit, because it recasts automatically every single day for free, which means that balance drops. Now you're paying interest on this versus making a payment on an outdated balance, which is what a mortgage does. You know, your mortgage payment doesn't change until you refinance or sell, right? So you could be in a 30-year mortgage for 5, 10 years. Guess what? Your payment's the same. So you're making a payment on an outdated balance. With a simple interest line of credit, you're making a payment based on today's balance, right? It's also open-end, which means you maintain liquidity. Money can move in and out freely. So now it gives that consumer the confidence to dump all of their money into it, go to work for them, as opposed to sitting on the sidelines in the form of a checking and savings account where you're getting 0.07%, where inflation is 3, 4%. I mean, you're losing thousands of a percent rate of return. We did an example a couple weeks ago where what was it? It was negative 1,844% rate of return. I mean, would any financial planner tell you, hey, yeah, give me your money, and the first thing I'm going to do with it is guarantee you a negative 144% rate of return? No, but a lot of them do. Why? Because they don't know any better. You know, we put these financial planners and financial advisors on such a pedestal that they know everything about money. No, they know this much about money. In fact, we could probably even look at a stat. Probably north of 60% of financial planners and advisors are broke. But yet they're advising people who have money what to do with their money, but they don't even have money. They're not executing on their own strategy. They don't have money. They don't make any money. So we put them on too high of a pedestal that they're the end-all be-all when it comes to money. But back to the original point, what could they do? Is, okay, maybe I'm going to purchase that $700,000 home, but instead of it costing me $1.4, $1.6 million, which still going to pay interest, it's going to cost me $900,000. And on top of that, I'm going to have it paid off in 5 to 7 years based on my income. So it's just the absence of realizing that there's optionality out there, which is why they're waiting until they're 40 years old to purchase their first home, because all they've ever heard of is, well, if you buy a home, you buy it with a mortgage. That's what my brother does, that's what my sister does, my mom and dad did, that's what my grandparents did. But you know who didn't do it? Your great-grandparents. It was still a mortgage, but it didn't look the way it does today. So just explore your options. Maybe you can get in a home faster, because real estate, owning a home, is one of those foundational pieces to generational wealth. Here's the other caveat to that, though. If I were to play devil's advocate, me and Sean were talking about this yesterday. Some people are renting. And everybody in the mortgage industry is going to tell you that that's bad. I'll be one of the few that'll tell you, not necessarily. Run the numbers. Because owning a home, yes, you get the appreciation. Yes, you get the tax deductions. But if you do it in an archaic way, like the modern day mortgage, there's probably more cons there than renting. Because what else do you have? Property taxes, homeowners insurance, no flexibility. Because, let's say Sean says in 6 months when his lease is up, I want to move to Hendersonville and no longer live in Laverne. He has that flexibility. If you own a home, you got to start marketing the property. You got to put it on the market. And you got to hope it sells for more than what you owe. So you lose your flexibility. On top of that, whatever he's paying in rent. Probably if the person that owns it is a decent real estate investor, so they're making more than they're covering their nut of what their mortgage and overhead is. But Sean doesn't have overhead for maintenance, gutters, stuff like that. And that happens as a homeowner. So we're just in a different market today where I think we're too quick to judge people that are renting and saying that's a terrible financial mistake, because I see it all the time on social media. Renting is 100% interest. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I totally agree with that. You're not building equity. You don't have tax deductions to a certain degree, depending on how you leverage it. That lease, maybe a portion of it is your home office and you got some tax deductions there. But for the most part, you don't get the standard tax deductions that the average American homeowner does. But the math is now starting to get very blurry of renting versus owning for those people in that situation. Now, if you get into a financial situation where you're cash flow positive, you got more than enough money coming in than what's going out, maybe you've got a decent nest egg for a down payment, yeah, jump into a home. But jumping into a home doesn't mean you have to jump into a mortgage. It could be a simple interest line of credit, which is far more efficient than the modern day death pledge. Never mentioned that. What does the mortgage translate to? Old French, death pledge. Mort refers to mortality, gage, which is a contract. So mortgage, what we're consuming, what we think is financially responsible, back in the day was actually called a death pledge, and still is to this day. A lot of people die owing on their home. Hey gang, thanks for watching our videos. If you could do me a favor, please like and subscribe. It definitely helps with the channel. And if you don't like it, do me a favor, leave a comment below and kind of tell us where we went wrong. What could we do better? Was it valuable to you or not valuable to you? So please do that. It definitely helps the channel. If you want to learn more about what we do, specifically replace your mortgage or replace your bank, click the link in our bio and maybe we can help out. Take care. God bless.